What is going on, everybody? It's Triforce, and we're here for AEW on TNT review for October 23rd, 2019. This is episode 4, I believe. 4? Yes, 4. They were in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania tonight as we get closer to finding out who are going to be the inaugural tag team champions of AEW. We also had Britt Baker in action in her hometown of Pittsburgh, or as she was referred to as Britsburg tonight. Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho go word for word on the microphone. It was absolutely fantastic, showing you why scripted promos are a bad thing and why unscripted promos are some of the best television you will probably ever see. You had Wardlow finally make his presence known again in a vignette. We haven't seen anything from Wardlow since All Out. And the tag team title tournament of Lucha Bros versus Private Party and the Best Friends versus, Dark Order versus SCU. Actually, if you were watching AEW and you're looking for the opening video package, the pyro, all that stuff, we ain't got none of that. We ain't got time for that. We have the Lucha Bros and Private Party both in the ring immediately. Recently signed to AEW, Justin Roberts with the ring announcement for both these teams. This was a fast-paced, fun match. If you thought the Lucha Bros were toning it down a little bit to help Private Party keep up and keep with them, it felt like that probably sometimes during this match. Not a bad thing. Private Party, of course, is the younger of the two teams, and you don't want the Lucha Bros to outpace them and outshine them. You want the reason you had the Young Bucks get beat by Private Party last week, 2 weeks ago. And then you have the Lucha Bros in this match is you want to help get Private Party over. Win, lose, or draw, Private Party needed to get over. It's like they were popular 2 weeks ago. They were big last week. They were big this week. Oh, and just Lucha Bros. The Lucha Bros, in my opinion, are fucking Teflon. They are one of the many in this company that they could lose match after match after match, and it probably won't hurt them until you went to like 20 losses in a row or something. These guys are one of the most popular acts in this company, and them going out there and just bringing their talent, their act down a little bit compared to what they did with the Young Bucks or Young Bucks Kenny Omega when they had Laredo Kid or anybody else. I can understand that because Private Party, yes, they are still fresh, they are still new. They are still a relatively unknown team. Yes, they beat the Young Bucks. Yes, they look like stars for one night. But you don't want the Lucha Bros to go out there and just make it look like they are. It's like you don't want Private Party to come off looking like they are amateur hour compared to Lucha Bros. So fast pace from the start. Chops by Phoenix and Pentagon. Private Party recover multiple double team moves. Leg sweep into a double stomp to the back of the head of Quinn. Phoenix out on the floor, and Quinn hits a massive leap over the top, taking him down. Cassidy in the ring with Pentagon and Zaguri. Cassidy with the silly string to a Hurricane Rana on Pentagon. I can get my mouse to work here. Quinn hits a 450 splash cover. It looks like it might be over that quick. No 2 count. Phoenix gets involved and lands a massive double stomp to the back of Quinn's head back. Quinn gets put in the corner. Pentagon with a double stomp. Phoenix with a step-up moonsault all the way down to the floor on Cassidy. This match just back and forth. These teams look fantastic. Lucha Bros made the Private Party look like fucking studs. This was absolutely fantastic. Pentagon in later on in this match tags in and sling legs Quinn, powerbomb to the knee, and Cassidy and a knee to Cassidy. This was interesting because Mark Quinn's down on the ground. He had Mark Quinn. Phoenix had Mark Quinn down on the ground on the floor on the mat. He had Pentagon. Not Pentagon, but Isaiah. The other one, Mark Quinn, on his back, looked like he was going to lift him up into a powerbomb, but he hits a gory special and a leg drop onto Isaiah Cassidy. But they counter into a Canadian Destroyer, which was absolutely fantastic. Cassidy dumped to the floor. Phoenix with a double stomp to Quinn. Pentagon snaps his arms. Does the arm snap. Package power driver double stomp combo. 1, 2, 3. They did this match. If you wanted a break in this match, there was no commercial breaks, which this has been the 4th week in a row, and AEW had no commercial breaks for the first match, which honestly, the first 20 minutes or so of a show should be absolutely commercial free. WWE, it's like you get, if it's a match, you get like 10 minutes of a match, and then they go straight to commercial break. And it's like, they haven't done that yet, and I hope they continue to do that. This match was non-stop, no rest holds, no nothing. These 4 guys went out there and just gave you a match classic, man. This was fucking fantastic. Then we see a vignette for Wardlow, who we haven't seen anything for since All Out. Now, of course, the one we saw All Out for him was him and I guess his girlfriend, wife, whatever, walking in a dark part of town. These four or five bums come up to them, like supposed to be thugs. And in slow motion, they have Wardlow beat the hell out of all these guys, and that was all we've seen of him. Didn't see any week 1, didn't see any week 2, didn't see anything from him week 3. Finally, we see a new vignette for him. He's working out. He has like chains on him. He throws them off, been posing and everything. Well, Wardlow is coming. Apparently, and this is, I have a criticism of this. Apparently, and I didn't know this until I saw something, I think What Culture mentioned about this, is that Wardlow wrestles around the Pittsburgh, Baltimore, in that area. The Pittsburgh area for sure. Wouldn't it have been smart to have Wardlow be, like, doing your Road to series that you had going up until TNT, have a vignette for him. Week 1, have a vignette. Week 2, have a vignette. Week 3, have a final vignette and say Wardlow is coming next week, and have him debut in Pittsburgh. Just a thought. Still no commercial break. We go straight to SCU versus the Dark Order for the tag team title tournament. Who will the Lucha Bros be facing next week? With SCU, with Pentagon and Phoenix winning their match, it was kind of obvious who was going to win this match. The Dark Order, I still do not like what the Dark Order are. It is a crowd killer. The crowd was dead in this entire match. Yes, I know you had Lucha Bros and Private Party just a little bit ago. That was a fantastic match. The crowd might have been a little tired after that match, but this crowd did not get hyped or up for anything until you see Chris Jericho, Santana, Ortiz, and Sammy Guevara walking in the crowd. Jericho's holding some tickets. Looked like tickets, but I don't think they were really tickets, you know. Walking up the stairs, everybody on hard cam was looking back to see what Jericho and the Inner Circle was doing. By the way, Jake Hager was not around because he's getting ready for his fight on Friday on Spike TV, the Paramount Network for Bellator, which is going to be happening this Friday. I don't know exactly where the fight is at, but it's going to be for Bellator. He's going to have a fight, and that's what he's getting ready for. So no Jake Hager this week. But the crowd was just practically dead for this match until you see the Inner Circle making their way to the crowd. They weren't supposed to be here tonight, but Jericho bought tickets apparently. They make their way up to the balcony, and they go to the press box where they're at. Now, when WWE does this as well, when they go opposite side for the hard cam, it's just kind of weird because you see, instead of the ring being shown from one side, you see the other side, the entranceway. It's just kind of weird. But I think the reason they had to do that is because they wanted to do this spot with Chris Jericho and them coming up and watching this match, and then the Kenny Omega Joey Janela match before we got to Cody and everything that happened after that. Now, this match again, not a really good match here. The SCU did the best they could to make this match what it was. The Dark Order just, if I would have to say that, like, I know they had to change their name. They couldn't be the Super Smash Bros. They couldn't be Triforce, which I think was their name beforehand. But the Dark Order is just not a team worthwhile, in my opinion. Kaz hit with a slingshot DDT, crowd really warming up to this match after being dead for majority of it. Uno gets slammed down to the apron. Sky lifts and twists Grayson right into a big knee. The SCU later, 1, 2, 3. And the Lucha Bros will be taking on Kazarian and Scorpio Sky of SCU next week. I'm really surprised that they didn't have like the Lucha Bros coming out, walking out, and just on the stage, just watching over and talking trash back and forth, setting up for next week. But next week we're going to have probably a fantastic finals. The tag team title tournament has been good. I'm hoping it goes out with a bang. I think this is going to be a great match next week. We go to the picture-in-picture, and in that picture-in-picture, we see the bad boy, Joey Janela, make his entrance. Kenny Omega is announced as the AAA Mega Champion, but he doesn't wear the title out here right now. It would be interesting to see if when we get to Full Gear, that match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley is actually is for the Mega Championship. But of course, I don't think you want to do that for the simple fact is it would make it too predictable. Even though I think Kenny Omega is going to beat Jon Moxley anyway, we'll talk about that in about 2 weeks or so. Janela with an arm drag. This match right here. Joey Janela is mostly known for being a hardcore wrestler. He's Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc, and Darby Allin, and Jon Moxley are your 4 deathmatch hardcore type guys. This match here with Kenny Omega was to show you that Joey Janela is more than just a hardcore deathmatch guy. This was great. Joey Janela and Kenny Omega gave you a fantastic match. Janela ends up on the apron with Omega with a big kick to the face. Another one sends Janela out to the floor. Omega with a crossbody to the floor, clearing out Janela. The Inner Circle still looking up from the private suite. Fuck him up, Kenny. Fuck him up chant from the crowd as he doesn't say anything, but Kenny Omega, he stops for a second and just listens to the crowd. Back in the ring, Janela with a couple running elbows in the corner. Janela heads up top. Omega launches them off, but Janela rolls through. Low drop kick sends Omega onto the floor. Janela climbs to the top. Big crossbody and takes out Omega. Omega drops Janela to the mat. Omega looks for a second moonsault, knees up. Omega recovers and hits 2 snap German suplexes. I think it's not German suplexes. I believe it was his dragon sleeper, his dragon suplex. I would not want to take a dragon suplex from Kenny Omega, period. Looks for a third. Janela gives him an elbow, then hits his own dragon suplex. Whoever writes these things needs to get this shit done right. Sending Omega into the bottom turnbuckle. Janela heads to the top. Elbow drop, cover 2. Omega is up, but up on the top turnbuckle pad. Janela climbs up. Thompson Omega lifts up. Looks like he's going to go for a Hurricane Rana, but Kenny Omega slips out and drops him face first onto the turnbuckle. Snapdragon suplex, running knee to the face, cover 2B trigger attempts. No German suplex, no suplex on Omega. They trade big strikes in the middle of the ring. Janela with the Fisherman's Buster, big lariat by Janela, cover 2 count. Very close. Kramer has a cut to Inner Circle, and they showed the Inner Circle, I think, a little bit too much in this match. They did it in the previous match, and they did it in this match multiple times. I think we knew they were there. And they were on hard camera, so if the camera was down a little bit and popped up for the crowd, you could see the spotlight on the Inner Circle, so we knew where they were at. Janela sells a V-trigger. He is totally flopping backwards over the second rope. One Wing Angel cover, and we are done here for 1, 2, 3. But Kenny Omega with a big win, his third win, or his second win, I believe, in a row. The Lights Out match from Dark last week did not count. Now, I think it was Kenny Omega was making his, was Joey Janela, one of the two. They started talking about the reason this match was happening was because of their fantastic match and the fact that people were just all crazy about what they did in that Lights Out match. And they talked about it, and for whatever reason, the people in the production crew decided, let's show highlights of Jon Moxley versus Joey Janela. Let's not show Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela until we get to the end of this video package, and we show a One Wing Angel on the chair, which was the end of the match, and what happened previously in that match. So, yeah, I listened to what was it, Brian Alvarez and Vinny's thing from last Wednesday, and Brian Alvarez's biggest complaint was that they didn't show any highlights of that match last week. Well, there you go. They showed a little bit of highlights. Cody comes to the ring for Tony Schiavone about AEW World Champion Chris Jericho at Full Gear. Here, he starts talking and he's wanting to make an announcement where we start hearing air horns. And the Inner Circle has air horns. Jericho grabs a mic and yells boo. Cody says, it's nice that they bought tickets, but this is not like that other promotion that we came from. This isn't an invisible wall. I could step through the ropes right now, come up there, and we could fight right now. Jericho tells Pickford to shut the hell up. He tells Cody to stay in the ring where it's safe because he knows Cody isn't going to come up there because he's a coward. And the way he says, and he's a coward. Just the way I can't say the way say it the way he said it, but just the way he said it made it even more like he's like a total dick. And just an entitled millennial bitch. Cody takes his coat off, goes up to head up to the barricade, then stops. Jericho reminds him it's 4-on-1 and to get out of here, and all of a sudden out comes his brother Dustin. Then they're like, so what? It's 4-on-2. What are you going like? You guys need to just be the Rhodes bitches that you are, and then out comes MJF. And you're wondering, Kenny's already had a match. The Bucks have a match later. Who's going to be the fourth man? DDP. Before DDP come out, Jericho did say he's not impressed by Dustin, and he's not impressed by someone who wears a scarf. Who the hell wears a scarf? Coming from the guy who, of course, got his scarf over in WWE. I love that about Jericho. DDP comes out, he joins MJF and Dustin, all four then head up to the suite. Jericho yells at them and tells them by now to take another step. The Inner Circle then heads into this luxury box and locks themselves in. The team of Cody, MJF, Dustin, and DDP get there, and the door is locked. They have a nice little glass window here. Cody puts his hand out. MJF takes his scarf, wraps it around Cody's hand, and punches through the window, getting the door open. Big, huge brawl. Everyone goes around. Its action spills out to the contestant stand. Jericho grabs a guy's crutch and swings it at Cody. Cody shoves Jericho's face into some Dippin' Dots. Garbage cans are flying as security runs in to get some control. Jericho holds his ticket. It says he's allowed to be there. Security ends up moving Cody and company out of the arena as Jericho yells on and on about his ticket. Jericho is acting like a big baby as he complains some more. He then gathers his troops and yells at the camera a bit. And we go to a split commercial, no audio, and you see Jericho licking his ticket and sticking it to his forehead for whatever reason. We never got to hear the announcement, so I have no idea what the hell is going on there. 4 Young Bucks and Best Friends get going. Best Friends get going. Cassidy walks back between. So the next match was the Young Bucks and the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy. Now the Best Friends were out. I think half their entrance was in the picture-in-picture. They come out. Orange Cassidy comes out. The Young Bucks come out. They're in the ring. They do their posing, and then Orange Cassidy comes in, hands in his pocket, just doesn't look impressed at them. Does his, little step up low super kick on both the legs, and then they give him a double super kick. Fans boo this majorly. I don't get the whole Orange Cassidy shtick. I don't get why people think it's a cool thing. Is he going to wrestle in AEW? I don't know. If he's just going to be a third friend, like a friend of the Best Friends, and that's it, then fine, whatever. But I just don't get why this, what's so special about Orange Cassidy. Now, this again was another good tag team match. And Nick with a Facebook on Buster on Trent in the beginning, Moonstone off the apron, puts down Taylor. Matt gets up, tagged in, and they do go to town on the Best Friends. They mock them by doing a hug in the middle of the ring. Action spills out on the floor, people getting thrown into the barricades. Taylor gets Nick up on his shoulders, Trent with a doomsday knee. Taylor waves and says, "Hi, Mom," to the camera. Ha, there you go, there's something funny for you. Matt lands a crazy flipping stunner off the second rope. Things end up on the floor. Cassidy gets Matt's attention for a moment. Trent with a running drop kick through the ropes to the outside, thanks to Orange Cassidy. Trent's taking control of the match as he heads to break. Nick looks for a 450 splash. Nobody home. Trent with a German suplex. Matt tags in and eats one himself. Trent tries for another on Nick. He lands on his feet and kicks Trent, but Trent ends up hitting another German suplex. Taylor's in there, hits belly-to-belly release suplexes on both Bucks. Taylor with a standing sliced bread on Nick. Sit-out powerbomb on Matt, cover 2. Bucks throw Taylor in the corner. Taylor avoids one guy and throws them into each other. Falcon Arrow for the 1-2. And then fucking Excalibur was like, nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. Everybody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. I know, that must be the gimmick, is that it's a thing that nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. When was the last time the Falcon Arrow actually won somebody a match? Could someone please go into the archives or something and tell me the last time anybody on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, can someone tell me when was the last time a Falcon Arrow actually won a match? Seth Rollins uses it as a move and a setup move, and that's about it. This was a move that just got used. Oh, nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. Everybody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. They hug in the middle of the ring. People go nuts. They hug the referee. Cassidy, with his hands in his pocket, leaps off the top rope and takes both Bucks down. Matt gets planted to the ring, covers Nick with a double stomp to Trent. Trent to break that up. Nick ends up on the floor. Taylor tags in and lifts Matt on his shoulders. Trent with a doomsday device, but Matt lands on his feet. Absolutely beautiful spot. That was just the timing of that. He gets hit with the knee, but flips over and to land on his feet. It was awesome. Super Kick Party breaks out. Nick with a step-up crossbody on Cassidy and Trent on the floor. Matt and Nick hit more bang for your buck. And 1, 2, 3. The best friends lose to the Young Bucks, who they did one on Dark last night, but they haven't won. They had lost a couple matches, which is fine. But I was saying this to my dad when we were watching, and I'm hoping after this match, because they need to win this match just to do this, but I'm hoping that the Young Bucks will, after this match, accept the match against the Lucha Bros after this match, which is, I'm not Lucha Bros, but Santana and Ortiz, and that's exactly what they did. Matt gets on the mic and yells, Santana, Ortiz, we accept. That is it. That's all you needed to do, and I am fucking stoked. I know everyone else is stoked. It should be one hell of a match. So, vignette for Britt Baker. She talks about Pittsburgh being her home, a place where she studied to be a dentist and learned to be a professional wrestler. She said it comes full circle tonight, and she has a white jacket decked out like a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey with a custom Steelers logo on her back that says DMD with, instead of diamonds, 3 colored, black, red, and blue. The color of the Pittsburgh Steelers diamonds on her back, but only its teeth instead. Britt Baker took on Jamie Hayter. I don't know who Jamie Hayter is. I hear she was in Excalibur mentioned something about being in Shimmer and Stardom and whatnot. So I thought, we're just going to get a squash match here, nothing big here, but no. This was a good match. Britt Baker came out with the Pittsburgh Steelers mascots. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers mascot was not the first mascot. He's not the first football mascot that's been in AEW, as the Jacksonville Jaguars mascot was at, Fight for the Fallen with Sonny Kiss. But she comes out and waves a Terrible Towel inspired AEW towel when she gets in the ring. Fans surrounding the ring have towels too. They're not terrible towels. They're AEW towels that are the color of a terrible towel, but it's not an actual terrible towel. Hayter charges and swings away. Baker takes her around and swings away. Hayter then suplexes Baker into the bottom turnbuckle, knees her down to the floor. Pittsburgh chance breaks out, which, by the way, she was wearing an awesome black and gold. Baker was black and gold attire with the actual Steeler diamonds on her top and her DMD logo, like custom Steelers logo, on her tights, on her bottoms, and on the back of her top. Awesome looking attire for it. Pittsburgh chant breaks out as Hayter sends Baker into the ring post and in the barricade. Baker with a sling blade on the floor, then tosses his opponent back in the ring. Hayter recovers full through and hammers away on Baker. Baker goes for a couple roll-ups, both two. Hayter gains control of the match as we go to break. Hayter jams her fingers into Baker's ear with a nice, good old-fashioned wet willy. And it was picture-in-picture, so you saw Hayter take her finger and just, like, wash it into her mouth and then just put it into Britt Baker's ear. Absolutely disgusting. Then she chokes Baker over the second rope. Hayter tries to choke out Baker, but Baker drives her to the mat. Baker eats an elbow but hits a running knee. Misdirection sling blade, cover 2. Running knee strike by Hayter, cover 2. Hayter with an eye gouge. Hayter goes up, but Baker follows and hits a suplex on Hayter. Super kick lands on Hayter. Ace crusher, swinging neck breaker, cover 2. Hits another super kick. Lockjaw is applied. Hayter quickly taps out. And Britt Baker is your winner. Now, Britt Baker was in the title match last week. You can tell she has potential to be a big thing in AEW, but she's not there yet. I'm hoping she's wrestling on some local indie things to get her like matches in, because she's got a ways to go before she is really anywhere when it comes to being anywhere close to being ready for the AEW Women's Championship, if that's ever in her future. Because she's what 2-3 years in her career. She's got a long way to go, but she's got hella potential, and you could just tell in this match that Hayter was helping her, getting her along in this match. So Britt Baker wins in her hometown, and then commentary lets us know that Cody is at a holding facility after what happened earlier tonight. Backstage, Jamie Hayter goes to talk to Jen Decker about the loss, and somebody just comes up from behind and attack her. They say Brandy Rhodes came out of nowhere and shoved her. Jen says Brandy and touches her on the arm. Brandy stares at her with a really angry look, almost wanting to attack Decker, and then heads off. And I'm like, is that really Brandy? Because that really didn't look like Brandy Rhodes to me. Just what I don't know what's going on here, but okay. So Jamie Hayter was not a one-time only. She'll be going up against somebody next. If that was really Brandy, it didn't look like Brandy to me. And then we get to a main event. This is what's great about AEW. We don't get no BS segments that don't mean a damn thing. I mean, Jamie Hayter getting attacked by Brandy or whoever it was, if that's going to lead to something, that's going to lead to something. We'll have to wait and see. But we had the Jericho and the Inner Circle and Cody, Dustin, MJF, and DDP segment, which was absolutely fantastic. Great promo work by those two gentlemen on your screen right now. So, like, AEW just quick through it. Like, AEW and NXT, I want to say this even though I haven't seen NXT yet. They have some of the best. They're paced well sometimes. NXT pacing a little off here and there. But this show is paced well. No bullshit. No stupid fucking infidelity storylines that I hope they don't ever think about poking fun at, because that'll be a dumb idea. Just match. But before this match could even get started, there was 15 minutes left, TV time remaining. Just like he did to Kenny Omega, Pac comes from behind with a chair to the back of Moxley's head. Pac hammers Moxley with the chair, then chokes Moxley with his own jacket as the crowd goes off with an asshole chant. Pac sends Moxley into the barricade. Referees asking Moxley if he can still do the match. He makes his way into the ring, and the bell rings. This match, in my opinion, was a pay-per-view quality match from the get-go. Yes. Moxley is having Kenny Omega at full gear. This match did not go the way that either one of these guys probably wanted it to go. But Moxley can barely stand up. Pac with an enziguri heads to the top rope, but Moxley rolls to the outside. Moxley still stunned. Pac with a twisting tope on Moxley. Moxley sent back into the ring. Cover 2. Moxley lifts driving Pac into the corner. Lands multiple kicks, but is still out of it. Pac with multiple kicks himself. Single leg drop kick. Pin 2. Pac continues to beat up Moxley as we go to break. Moxley gets driven off the apron and into the barricade. This match keeps going, and we get later on, Pac gets sent out to the floor. Moxley with a suicide dive. Either it's Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's suicide dives have never been the best in the business. I'm just going to tell you that now. Moxley tosses him back into the ring. We have a 5 minute of TV time left in this match. Moxley hits a black hole cover, 1-2. He hits a running knee, which is the Regal knee, 1-2. He then locks the ring to Texas Cloverleaf. Pac then grabs the bottom rope to break the hold. Moxley then heads to the top rope. Pac hits the top rope, and Moxley gets crushed on the top rope. Pac heads up, hits a Super Falcon Arrow, which was absolutely fucking crazy. Just the fact that it was a twisting Super Falcon Arrow, because it looked like he was going to do a suplex, and he lifted him up and then twisted around and hit the Falcon Arrow for a 2. Again, when was the last time the Falcon Arrow won somebody a match? I will be shocked if somebody wins with the Falcon Arrow. Mark my words. Moxley on the floor, Pac with a kick to the face, 450 splash onto the apron to the floor. Pac throws Moxley back into the ring, goes up top, Black Arrow, but nobody home. 1 minute remaining and both men are down. Moxley slowly crawls over to a down Pac, 1-2, kick out. Moxley hits the Death Rider, but is having a tough time getting the Pac. The time ticks down, 1, 2, kick out, time runs out. This is a time limit draw. The only other time limit draw in AEW so far was, of course, Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes. Post-match, Moxley is not a happy camper. We have like 60 seconds left in this entire event. Yes, they did the time limit till 1 minute before the show goes off the air because you want to have an after effect if there's a draw. He yells and drops the referee with a Death Rider. Another referee comes out, but Moxley stomps at him and he doesn't bother getting in the ring. Time limit my ass, Moxley says a few times, with Pac barely awake as show goes off the air. So we have our match for Full Gear accepted. We have time limit draw between two guys who look like they probably could have won another 10-15 minutes. This show was absolutely fun, great. I wasn't bored. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, can we just, like, we had Humberto Carrillo versus Seth Rollins last Monday, and I really didn't care about that match. Drew McIntyre versus Ricochet, 2 minutes into that match, and I'm like, I just don't care. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, and NXT's getting there too. A soulless and just not worth watching half the time. But like anyone's like, oh, if you don't like the show, don't watch. That's just like telling a New York Knicks basketball fan to stop watching the Knicks because they're fucking terrible. What is that fan going to feel like when that team's terrible and then they eventually break through that wall and start being good? And hey, look, guys, I'm back. Oh, shut up, you bandwagoner. That's what people would like. People would criticize you for sitting there and shitting on the product. But when if the product ever gets good, you're gonna get criticized. It's like, oh, you weren't watching WWE when it's bad, so how can you watch it when it's good? You can't win in this situation. But again, another great episode of AEW. Just hope the best for these guys as we continue on. This show, another good one. I'll have to watch NXT tomorrow. Get that guys up for you tomorrow as well. That is your AEW review for October 23rd, 2019. I'm going to warn you about tomorrow, though. It's going to be a little bit of a rant in there because they're doing something this week for next week that's really not going to make me happy. But hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The Club. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for NXT, Friday for SmackDown, and Sunday for Unscripted. So then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.